Well, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but there's another rocker button somewhere. Okay, well, I think this is that survey thing that they were talking about. So this is Final Fantasy XV's patch 1.10. There, Jocelyn and Jasmine, now you should be able to see my face better. So this is the survey that comes with the new Final Fantasy XV 1.10 patch. Basically what it is when you log in, you're going to find that the special button is highlighted. One of the options on the main menu, the special title, is highlighted in yellow. So if you accept that, you either have the original option of playing the alternate Chapter 13 Verse 2, where you get to play as Gladio and Ignis, or you take this survey. Now basically you only get one shot at it. You only get one choice, and these are your options. But Square Enix and Hajime Tabata, the game director, the head dude, basically wants fans. They've given you a list of options here, and according to the top side, it says select the content you would most like added to Final Fantasy XV. Items that received many votes may be included in future updates. It says items as I read it, so it could be more than one. However, we only get one vote per person, and that kind of sucks. Because as I note as well, there is no all of the above option, and that fucking blows. So, what we do have on the other hand is, I'll kind of go through them one by one. A couple of the people have done that already, but I haven't done that. So Jocelyn and Jasmine, if you're watching, this is what we're going to do. And to anybody who hasn't played the game, who hasn't beaten the game, some of this stuff will, just by the very nature of reading it right now, you'll kind of figure out there's some things. So yes, some things are going to come with some spoilers, just a heads up. Story content. The first 4, 5, 6, 7 options on the survey involve story content. Now when it says story content, these are supplements to the actual storyline. Final Fantasy XV took 10 years in development to come out, and supposedly at the end it was a rushed job. My opinion is that it's a marketing scheme. I think that they're creating a supply and demand, and I think it's brilliant. I think that for all of its immersion with the Final Fantasy XIII world and whatever big mythos that it was supposed to be, well, it never really panned out. However, you don't take 10 years and kind of figure out, well, it's going to be open world and base it on some things. Yeah, they tweaked some stuff, but this was the grand plan all along. They gave us a story that was fantastic, but leaves holes, obvious holes in it. It leaves things, and some of those things are being addressed, obviously, and they're breaking us into the idea with episode Gladio, episode Ignis, episode Prompto. Prompto comes out, I think, this month, in June. I think it's going to be a shooter. I definitely think it's going to be a shooter. So, in the meantime, the DLCs that come out, a lot of them are only about a couple hours long. So given that time frame, you're only going to get a good couple hours out of the event as is. Take, episode Gladiolus, for example. Take Chapter 13, Verse 2. Again, it only takes about a couple hours to rip through it, guys. Keep that 2-hour limit in mind, and that's how I'm going to kind of look at it. can you tell things about Arden's past or Lunafreya's activities, for example? So I'll just kind of go through them one by one. I only get one shot at it, so this video is actually just here to test out the camera. Yes, is it working? Yes, it is. Hi, Jazzy. Hi. Hey, what's up, Joss? What's up? Yes, the adapter seems to be working, so here we are. I only get one shot at this, so the rest of you guys can muse through it as I think through it. This is how I think about it. This is how I make decisions, so you'll get to learn a little bit about me and how I think. Story content, Arden's past. Without going into too much detail, the guy that you see right there, Arden Izunia, if you've watched Kingsglaive, if you've played through the Final Fantasy 15 at all, you understand that Arden is a very important character for a number of reasons, a high number of reasons. We know that from watching Kingsglaive from the very get-go before the story even starts. If you haven't seen Kingsglaive and all you've played is 15, again, from the very get-go, you get the know. And so Arden is a very pivotal and very important part of the story, and there's a lot we don't understand about him that if we were given some of his past, he gives it to us, a portion of it, spoiler, but he does give us a major pointers that he's got some real serious issues in his past to get to how he got to be where he's at today. Would a little bit of his past help understand that? I think that's a pretty freaking human being thing to do. I think that's actually a pretty good choice. That said, that's high. Lunafreya's activities. Honestly, No. I don't think I want to know. Lunafreya, for those of you who haven't played or seen the movie or not part of this Final Fantasy 15 thing, Lunafreya is the main character, Noctis' love interest, and she is also, again, an extremely pivotal character. Is she as pivotal in the grand scheme of things as Arden? No. But, is she pivotal? Yeah, really. Now, her activities versus her past, it limits the number of options. Could it be told in a couple of hours? Yes, but my question really is when, without giving too much away, when she's active at her highest, even then, it was less action. It'd be more political or intrigue or something along those lines. But we get it's part of a bigger picture, and I think that if Square Enix or Tabata picks one of these other options, and I should disclose this about the rest of them, I think that what we're gonna find is some of these things are gonna be, a natural. We're gonna learn about some of these things if they pick certain things. I'll give an example in a minute, but Lunafreya's activities, no, I don't think it's worth an entire episode. I think that yes, it should be done, but I think if my guess is right, this is me going on a rabbit trail, but quote me on this. If it comes to pass, then cool. If it doesn't, well then shit, I've been as wrong as I've been right as many times. But I think Lunafreya's activities would be a DLC. It would happen as the pictures. Okay, screw it. I can't do it without spoiling it. So, her major activities are in Altissia. And her participation in Altissia was already pretty well evident and present. I mean, I think it served its purpose well. And would we gain anything further by seeing her activities there? No, probably not. Would we see some of the things like maybe what the game in... Now, if it had to do with more earlier in the game when we saw her wandering, then maybe, because I saw her at a tent or something like that. I seem to remember her as the Oracle, somewhere along mid-journey or stuff, and we saw she was on her own journey. We saw that from the end of Kingsglaive. So, it could be that. It could be, how did she get from there to there? How did she end up from escaping, Kingsglaive at the end Spoiler, she survives, obviously. But at the end of Kingsglaive, how did she get to the Empire's control? How did she get to Alticia, for example? There are other areas. Is it enough to give us a good scope within a couple-hour time frame? No, I don't think so. It's not enough to count my one vote. Core's activities? I'll keep this short. Core's a badass. Core's backstory is basically told. And, oh, Juicy Jace! Shenanigans and vlogs, what's up? It's going alright. I just wanted to test out and see if the camera's going, so I just wanted to see if you could see my smiling face. So, shoot me a comment if you could see it. I'm going through real quick. Since you're only here for a little bit, I'm going to be sitting here talking. This is my camera test. But, in a little while, I'm going to check out Nier Automata. You probably won't see that, but you can see the video of it tomorrow. The special for the Final Fantasy 15 update is basically a survey, and the Square Enix and Tabata, the game director, everybody, they're giving us players a chance to have some input. Here, let me get closer. Let me get closer. So, Square Enix has given us a survey, and we only get one vote. And they've given us a predefined list of options, and no, all of the above is not among them, unfortunately. Fuck you, Square Enix. So, but I love you. I love you. Yes. So, they gave us some pretty juicy, no pun intended, juice, but they gave us some pretty juicy options here, but we only get one vote. I'm reading it, and it says items, so it may be plural, but I only get to vote one time. And they gave us some good stuff. I'm kind of going through the options. Some of them are story content that may come out in future DLC. Some of them are playable characters. Core could be a playable character. I was just about to talk to him, and then I saw you jumped in here. Core, badass, katana-wielding guy. He's basically the other guy in episode Gladio. And his backstory is basically told... Real quick, this is going to tie up the other one. We learned what we need to know about this guy already. Do we want to know more? Yes. Will it come as a consequence to other things? Maybe. So, it's not worth my one shot. No, it's not. Aranea, she's the Dragoon in this story. I mean, look at that. Look at that! How can you not say you want to have that as a playable character? Unfortunately, a lot of other YouTubers are right. We've already had the permanent Aranea glitch, and they let that one go for a while before they fixed it, and it was super fun to play, but they left that alone for a little bit, and then for that reason they're gaining their input based on what we're reporting back on YouTube and what we want and the glitches that we're sharing because we all enjoy it. So they're obviously listening to us, you guys, and that's the biggest takeaway here. If you're watching this on YouTube land and you're going, okay, what should I pick? Fuck, dude. Vote should be cast on story, I think, can bring in more items, theoretically. Exactly. And that's kind of, sort of what I'm getting at, Juice, is that, yeah, they're giving us some options here, and I think we should focus on certain stories. And really, yeah, I did hear about this earlier, so I'll be honest, I did have some time to think about this ahead, but... You know, I wanted to present it as honest as I could, but yeah, I'm kind of going Arden's Past. Some of these things, this, for example, is tied to Arden's Past. Again, that's a major story thing. One of the biggest things that we're running into is that the DLC is only going to be about 2 hours long, give or take, 2, maybe 3 play hours. Is it going to have replay value? Maybe. I don't know. It depends on how big or how small they go with it. But again, they're listening. I'm with you. I was going through, okay, story would be great. I'll take playable characters, that would be awesome. However, like with Iris, oh my god, we haven't even played Iris. And if we get her as part of like the World of Ruin story content, even as a guest character, right? Because we had that. Did we have Luna? No, we didn't have Luna in the party. You know, we didn't have Gentiana in the party. Or maybe we did. I don't remember. But... we didn't have these two. We didn't have this one. But they could be guest characters in other things, you know? For example, without spoiling it, I think this character, along with this And this, and this, and even this would all come as a consequence of this. Having this would make, when this happened in the game, make a lot more sense. This helped Episode Gladio make more sense, even as a guest character. So, do we need him as a regular playable character? No, guys. If you want the katana-wielding badass core, level your Noctis up. You know, step your game up. Fucking hit level 120. Put in the time. Put in the hours. Like I said, I'm at 300 hours, give or take. I'm probably past that at this point. That's not much compared to thousands. But, you know, my character's at 120. I'm rocking these Tyrannians in the best time I've been doing it, actually, yesterday. I mean, my scores are going up. I'm not the best player in the world, but I know how to make the best of what I've got. Do we want to waste one whole DLC on core when you have the Katana of the Warrior? Exactly. I mean, you have the Katana of the Warrior, which is a Royal Arms, and so that automatically, by right, Royal Arms affects everybody, guys. That's demons, that's end-level bosses, that's super boss. Fuck. I mean, you can't even touch these Tyrannians, or like Dread Behemoth, for example. You can't touch these guys, even with the best, highest level weapons, like the Insomnian weapons, the Niflheim weapons. If they're regular weapons, most of them don't touch them. But the Royal Arms touches them all the time. Okay, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, but that's kind of how it's going to come out. You know, people are entitled to feel however they want to, but I think that our DLC should be focused on more towards a story, because if you want core, use the Katana of the Warrior. Use the right accessories and boost up your other things. Use Oryx Kukris to boost up your stats. You know, wear the right outfits. I mean, do what you want. You know, play as core just through Noctis. I'm not saying, you know, having core as a playable character would be a bad idea. Fuck, I would be a hypocrite if that were the case, but it's not the case. I'm saying let him be the guest character. Let Aranea be the guest character. It was fun having her as a glitch, but we had our time. Iris, that would be cool, but I would like to see that as a part of this. I would like to, you know, I don't want to have to... No, you're all good, man. Good night, dude. Thank you for joining in. I'm glad that the camera test works, and so, like I said, you'll see a lot more of me even when you don't anymore, so keep it juicy. So, for the rest of you guys, going back to what I was saying, Iris, I think we'll see it as a consequence of something like this. You know what I mean? This, I think we'll see that as a consequence of this. I will see, or I'm sorry, not as playable character, but we'll learn more about. She may be a more interactable character in this context. She may even be more of a interactable character than we thought in this context, which will tie in possibly with this context. Now, when it says the line of Lucis, they are being very vague here, okay? We're not talking about the line of Lucis like in terms of like every single king, like all 12 or 13 of them, or is it going to be like, what were the line of Lucis doing during this, for example? Or, you know, what are they doing, you know, when they're sleeping as the old wall? Other questions. I mean, there's stuff here. It's infinite, but again, I think the main idea has already come across. We obviously know that they have stuff lined up. If you guys watch real closely on Episode Gladio, like in those cutscenes during the infinite loading screens, one of the ones that is never very long is the one that kind of sort of tells about a war with the Astrals. Now, that would... War of Astrals may have nothing to do with the line of Lucis. It may have everything to do with the line of Lucis. Knights of the Round, obviously, being the 12 Kings of Lucis, but again, this, could come as a consequence of this. I mean, how the hell did he ended up here? How did one astral end up with this guy? And as we all know, again, no real spoilers here, but this is pretty ambiguous here. There's some light and dark to this guy's story, and I want to hear the rest of it, because if that's the case, then if he was... how do I put this without ruining shit? If he was a black sheep, so to speak, from his situation, then if he was a black sheep of the circle for his situation, then obviously they had some common ground here. And if this is the common ground, and she's a part of that, I don't want her as a playable character as part of that. I want to see this. I want to see how this guy met this guy and ended up causing this shit to happen. And because we already know what happens with this guy, we don't need to go that far back. I don't want to hear about a 15-year-old core. I don't. I mean, that'd be cool, but right now we're dealing with 20 and 30-year-old, kings-to-be coming of rights and, accepting responsibilities. And so I don't see how Core's activities necessarily gives to the greater storyline. Sorry. I said I wasn't going to go off on a tangent, and tangent I went. It happens. Iris, on the other hand, I would like to see this as a part of this, and this is a situation where, of all the playable character options, I would choose Iris. That's the only one we're here because, again, the game hints that she became a really super cool demon hunter, demon slayer, or whatever, Iris the demon slayer. It happens here. I would like to see this. Unfortunately, we probably won't see this happening in a place like this if we get this. So this I can see being a whole separate DLC. I hope that this becomes, again, items more than one. I hope that these two things happen back to back, or maybe we'll get the World of Ruin and Noctis' disappearance, but we need this, guys. We need that. Do we need to do stat changing magic? I would like to see that, but no. You know what we need? Make your own recipes. Make your own recipe. That's what we need, you guys. We have all the ingredients. Tabata and them directors gave us all of the options, and they can do it. So if we can play with food and healing items and curatives and monster drops and freaking fishing lures. I don't know about the fishing lures, but if we can use like the first 4 columns of our items to create magic, fuck, I mean, give us some different magic, but no, I think the magic is cool. Give us control over the food that we're buying. I mean, shit, for fuck's sake. I mean, you guys are charging us an arm and a leg. I mean, 100,000 gil doesn't come along for low-level characters like every single day, and even then, you can end game this at, what, level 40, level 45 if you really wanted to? So, by the time you get to Alticia, for example, I mean, that's still a lot of money. It's arbitrary, I'm fucking with you guys, but no, seriously, on the real, I would like to see us have, not stat-changing magic, but use the food items. Let us be chefs. Let us play Ignis for a minute and make our own recipes. And we'll probably find a lot of people playing for a lot longer. You'll find that if you give that as an option, that will appeal, I think, a lot more to the lower level gamers. So the guys who were just getting in here, just starting out, going, okay, Elemency is really easy to figure out. Even now, fire, ice, and thunder. Brought it back to the basics. I love it. I love it. I think that they started with like the Venom casts and the attacks and the curse casts and stuff. I would like to see more stat changing magic. I think that's what they meant, as well as, yeah, a couple other people have already mentioned this. Haste, I would like to see that. Protect, I would like to see kind of that. Having those magic options. I remember the support magic, and traditionally it's been fun. It's been hit and miss on the games whether or not I've used it, but It didn't really occur to me until just now. I mean, I've really been wrapped up, and I love how 15 is. I can't put it down, obviously. But don't change the magic. Give us more control of the food. I mean, that's really one of the fun aspects. I can't be the only one. I'm not speaking for everybody. I can speak for myself, but I can't be the only one going, hey, magic works right now. You know, give us better food. Why? Because if you give us more control over our stat bonuses, then that gives more incentive to give this. You know, more people will be like, okay, well, hard difficulty doesn't seem so bad because I have this whole other thing that I can use here. You know, everything, the way that the system is set up is great now, but sometimes, you know, it would be fun to just kind of sit back and mess with the ingredients and see what kind of recipes you can make. You know, have one that has equalizer and clairvoyance and nullify all fire, ice, and lightning. That would be the best parts of Golden Tail Soup, Lasagna al Forno, and shit, what was the first one I said? Equalizer. One of the things has several of them have equalizer on them, but I can't think of one. But you get the idea. Rather than I have to go to a campsite and get one or even maybe two of those bonuses as opposed to all three. If I had a dish that gave me all three, dude, you could walk into a time quest and see players trying to crank out points because they can smoke them. More than that, it'll give some of the lower level characters a little bit of an incentive to go, oh, okay, and if and when they get smoked by something, or, you know, a DLC comes out that maybe is a little middle ground, it gives them an option. They can play with the foods, and if they have the ingredients or they don't, they have multiple options. Just give them another tool based on what they have on hand already, which is the food system, which is the materials. So give that one a shot and see what happens. Improved armature abilities. I would choose this one 100 times anyway. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but God, I love armature so much. I would say not just the only improvement I would say is make it last longer and make it hit harder, which I know how that sounds, and yeah, whatever. Make it hit longer and make it hit harder. Break damage limit. Somebody mentioned, you know, make an ascension grid for it. Node that gives you break damage limit for armature. Fucking do that. Or, you know, make it last a little bit longer, or give a period of invincibility or something when you hit armature chain. Whatever. Either that or don't fuck with it. That's my opinion. So what is my choice going to be? Shit, I want to pick this so bad. You don't have any idea. This is what I chose. Obviously. When I weigh it all out, I mean, I could go on for hours about this. I haven't even really sat and thought about it. And that's why I need to make a choice and move on. Going back to my original logic, everything considered, I will see this again, and maybe even this again, and this, probably this, definitely some of this, and probably some either playable or guest character of this, probably, or maybe a playable or more likely guest character of this as a consequence of this. This is what I want. I'm telling you, in the grand scheme of things, I think that's what's going to help tie a lot of things in. It's going to give us a lot more reasons to get excited. How was it nighttime again? I must have been here for a long time. Oh well. Alright guys, well, hey, camera works, so I just wanted to test that one out. Juicy, thanks for joining up. Little ladies, I love you. Sweet dreams, I love you, and I'll see you when I see you. Camping's coming up this summertime. In the meantime, have a good day, and I will touch base with you again tomorrow. Everybody else, like, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Be safe.